I walked into my own apartment and saw my boyfriend naked in our bed with my sister's best friend. And the worst part is that for maybe 3 full seconds, neither of them noticed me standing there. That's the image I can't get out of my head. His hand on her waist, her face turned toward the window, the stupid gray throw blanket my mom bought us for Christmas half on the floor, my overnight bag still hanging off my shoulder because I'd only come back early to grab my laptop charger before driving back to my dad's house. I didn't scream right away, I just said, "Oh!" It came out so quiet that he actually looked annoyed first, like I'd interrupted him during a movie. Then he rolled off hers so fast he hit the nightstand and knocked over the lamp. She yanked the sheet up to her chest and started crying immediately, which for some reason made me angrier than if she'd smirked. Crying felt insulting, like I was supposed to comfort her for being caught sleeping with my boyfriend in my bed at 2 p.m. on a Thursday. "Babe," he said. And I said, "Don't call me that." I know people always ask why you didn't just leave, and honestly, I should have. But I stayed there in the doorway like an idiot, staring at details my brain decided were important. His jeans were inside out on the floor. There were 2 wine glasses on my dresser. One of them had a coral lipstick mark on it, and I knew it wasn't mine because I don't wear lipstick and because I'd seen that exact shade on her at my niece's birthday party last month. Her name is Kayla. She's been around for years because she's best friends with my younger sister, Tessa. Not close enough to be family, but close enough that she was at holidays, birthdays, random barbecues, and once cried in my kitchen after some guy ghosted her. I gave her tissues and told her she deserved better. That part keeps replaying too. I didn't find out through clues or a suspicious text or a random earring under the seat. I found out in the most humiliatingly direct way possible, and somehow that still wasn't the beginning. Because things had already been wrong for months, just not wrong enough for me to feel justified saying it out loud. He'd started turning his phone face down, which is such a basic red flag that I almost felt embarrassed noticing it. He said work had gotten more intense, but he worked in IT support and was suddenly taking client calls on the balcony at 10:30 p.m. He became weirdly protective of little things that never used to matter. He changed his gym schedule, started showering the second he got home, bought new boxer briefs even though he normally wore the same bulk pack ones until they practically dissolved. I noticed all of it. I also ignored all of it. Partly because I'm not innocent in this story. About 6 weeks before I caught them, I went through his iPad while he was asleep. I know that's wrong. I know everyone says if you feel the need to snoop, the relationship is already dead. Maybe. But my mom had just had surgery. I was driving back and forth between my parents' house and our apartment, and every time I came home, he acted like I was a guest in my own life. So I checked. I didn't find a smoking gun, just little things that made me feel crazy. A deleted text thread with no name, just a number, an Uber receipt from a neighborhood nowhere near his office or gym, a note in his notes app that just said, "Don't forget Friday, 2 p.m., parking in rear." I almost confronted him over that, but even in my own head it sounded pathetic. Don't forget Friday, parking in rear. It could have been literally anything, a dentist appointment, a work visit, something boring. So I said nothing and let myself become one of those women who started collecting tiny pieces of evidence like lint. Then Kayla started showing up in odd ways. Tessa mentioned casually that Kayla had started going to the gym all the way across town for some guy's training program, even though there was one 5 minutes from her apartment. Kayla started reacting to my Instagram stories within seconds, especially the ones where I posted from my parents' house, like she was tracking when I wasn't home. Once, when the 4 of us were at a bar after my cousin's engagement party, I came back from the bathroom and stopped because Kayla was leaning across me to show my boyfriend something on her phone, and he looked up too fast when he saw me. Not guilty fast, more like practiced fast. I asked him in the car later, "Do you think Kayla flirts with you?" He laughed. Actually laughed. "She flirts with everybody." That's not what I asked. He sighed and tapped the steering wheel. "You want me to say yes so you can be mad about it?" And because I hate sounding insecure more than I hate almost anything, I said, "Forget it." That was our pattern. I'd ask something small, he'd make me feel dramatic, I'd back off so I could still pretend I was the reasonable one. The day I caught them, I was supposed to stay with my dad until Friday night because my mom still couldn't drive after surgery. But my aunt came over unexpectedly, so I figured I'd swing by the apartment, grab my charger and a clean sweater, and head back. I even texted him, "Running in for 5 minutes, you home?" He didn't answer. I told myself he was probably in the shower or on a work call. I remember thinking I should pick up oat milk because we were almost out. That's the level of normal my brain was operating on while I unlocked the door and walked into my life detonating. After the first minute of shock, the actual fight was ugly and small in a way big betrayals often are. Kayla kept saying, I'm so sorry, while clutching the sheet, and I snapped, please stop talking like you accidentally dented my car. He tried to stand up and pull on his jeans at the same time and said, this isn't what it looks like. I actually laughed then. I couldn't help it. Oh, then explain the alternate version, I said. Use small words. He stared at the floor and said, it's been going on for a little while. Not even long. A little while, like that was supposed to comfort me. I asked how long, and he said, since January. It was March. Then Kayla, through tears, said, it wasn't supposed to happen like this. And that made me turn on her. How was it supposed to happen? You were going to sit next to me at Easter and pass the potatoes first. She flinched like I'd slapped her. I didn't. I wanted to, which I'm not proud of, but I didn't. The worst moment came when Tessa called. Kayla's phone was buzzing on the bed with Tessa's contact photo lighting up the screen. My sister had no idea where either of them were. She was calling because the three of us were supposed to help her look at venues that evening for her wedding shower. I picked up Kayla's phone and showed it to both of them. Does she know? Neither answered. That told me enough. I left then, but not before taking a picture. That's the part people get weirdly judgmental about when I've told two close friends. They think the photo is too much, vindictive. Maybe it was. But I took one blurry photo of the bed, his bare shoulder, her face half covered, enough to prove I wasn't exaggerating. Because I knew the second I left that room I'd be dealing with lies, minimization, and revisionist history. And I was right. Within an hour, he was texting me paragraphs about how he'd been unhappy for months, how he didn't know how to tell me, how our relationship had become more like roommates, which was rich, considering roommates usually don't share a bed and talk about baby names after 2 glasses of wine. Kayla texted me separately saying she'd always looked up to me, which nearly made me throw my phone out the window. Then she asked me not to tell Tessa because it would destroy everything. I didn't answer either of them. I drove back to my parents' house with my charger, still sitting by the bed where I left it. Here's where it gets messy and why my friends are split. Tessa is getting married in 2 months. She worships Kayla, and she still likes my boyfriend more than she should because he helped her fiancé move apartments and fix their Wi-Fi and basically played golden retriever future brother-in-law for 3 years. If I tell her everything now, I blow up her wedding shower, probably her wedding mood, and maybe her friendship permanently. If I don't tell her, I'll be standing next to her while Kayla smiles in photos like she didn't help wreck my relationship in my own bed. My now ex keeps asking if we can talk in person like adults, which I know means he wants a chance to make this sound mutual somehow. Tessa keeps texting me, asking why I suddenly left group chat plans and why Kayla is being weird. My mom, who only knows we broke up, keeps saying, maybe some space will help you two think clearly, and I feel sick every time she says you too. I still have the picture. I still haven't sent it to anyone. And I honestly don't know if keeping it makes me smart or cruel.